Go?
Go.
Well, welcome everybody. We're back here on Bookkeepers on Fire. Live from the floor. Everybody just left to go to class. So we have a nice quiet vendor floor. And I want to first off thank our sponsor, Right Tool, for sponsoring our podcast. Right Tool, the only wrong tool, what do I say? The only wrong tool is not to use Right Tool. Because it sits on top of QuickBooks to make all the frustrations of QuickBooks go away. But we're here.
All the frustrations?
Well,
Many.
enough. But that leads us into our guest that we have here. We're so honored to have Sasha Orloff from Puzzle, who's the CEO of Puzzle. So what's really fabulous is that there are no frustrations with QuickBooks when you use Puzzle. Because Puzzle is an AI native solution, GL product.
Yeah.
So what I want to know first is, what does that mean, AI native solution?
Yeah, so that seems to be a bit of the theme of the floor here at Scaling New Heights 2026, which I think is exciting. And so I'll answer your question. I'm going to talk about maybe why it's so exciting this year.
Because you were here last year.
We were last
That was your first year here.
It was the first time we ever talked about what we were doing publicly.
Right.
And that was because Joe scared me, and he said, you know, accountants have long memories. They've been promised a lot of amazing solutions. You can create this like really beautiful demo, but then you put the real world in front of the demo and it all breaks down. So he scared me to death. And so we spent a lot of time working with firms for years so they could consistently close the books without having to call our product and engineering team. And then we finally came out. So last year was the first time we were here. We just talked about what we were doing as an alternative to QuickBooks. And then this year we came again and we started talking about how agents are sort of able to help bookkeepers, we believe, make more money than ever before. And so we just gave a talk on stage about, we believe this is the year and next year will be the years that accountants are making more money than ever before because of AI.
Now, you said agents.
Yeah.
Would you define agent? Because I don't think a lot of people know what an agent is.
Yeah, so Puzzle's a general ledger. It's
Which means?
It's the thing that houses all of your debits and credits.
Yes.
The journal entries that we think are not going to be handcrafted for very much longer.
You mentioned that handcrafting on stage.
Yeah.
I loved that word, how you did it. We don't have to handcraft the journal entries anymore, and Puzzle does it for us.
Puzzle does it for us. You set the direction that you want your books to run, and then Puzzle will take your direction. So what we think about is it's amplifying the judgment and expertise of accountants. So we love accountants, we love accounting firms. We've been building for them since day one. That was the whole premise. It was, how do you bring all of this great technology to what we think is one of the most important relationships, which is the accountant and the bookkeeper.
Right.
And we talked a little bit last year about what was holding bookkeepers and accountants back from not just being the trusted advisor all the time, but being the trusted advisor all the time. And as I was digging with my brother, who, if anybody has younger siblings, you don't listen to their advice. It takes a couple times to have it resonate. But he's an engineer, and he was saying, accountants have a software problem. Accountants have a software problem. Accountants have a software problem. And eventually, after 7 times, I listened, and we started digging in. And I was saying, well, why aren't we having these types of conversations about the health of our business? And it turns out we thought it was a software problem. And so we took the step into saying, all right, we know what we're going to build. We're going to build a general ledger. We're going to build a platform that helps accounting firms make more money. And this year, technology finally caught up to the vision that we've been working on for 6 years.
Wow. So you're the GL that handles all the debits and the credits.
Yep.
And then do you have products that integrate?
Yes. So I think there are a couple different choices that firms get to make this year. And it's been a long drought. The first is you can work with one of the many legacy GLs that are around.
Which are called QuickBooks?
QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, NetSuite, depending upon the segment and the stage. And their strategy is really to build this bundled all-in-one solution. That's what they talk about publicly, done for you. Everything is in one solution. Well, when new businesses are starting up, we have all of these great tools, which you can see around here. For example, Ramp and Brex and Gusto and Rippling and Bill and Relay and all of these great tools. And they have so many more capabilities for automation and accuracy and getting better insights. Except when your system was designed 30 or 20 years ago, it was designed for the work to be clicked on a screen. It's an entirely different architecture to architect for automation in an AI world. And so we had to rebuild the full general ledger in a way that allows humans or agents, or
an agent. How do you create an agent?
You'd create an agent just like you would explain to a junior staff member exactly what to do.
Okay.
So
now you do this within Puzzle, or do you do this within an? Okay, so
back to this. I got distracted to myself, which
sorry, it's okay.
So it's fun.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
I'm trying to follow everything, you know.
So your choice number one is you stay on your ledger and your existing legacy ledger, and you work with some sort of third-party agent tools. They can automate certain parts of accounting, and that works pretty well. I think it gets people who are very risk averse and don't want to make a major change. It's easy to get started. What you quickly realize is it's pretty limiting. So when you think about all the steps to close your books, you can't do them in third-party agents because QuickBooks and Xero's APIs are limiting. They're not made for workflows. They're made for sending data or journal entries in. So you can't close a reconciliation, you can't do accruals, you can't do the things, the checks and balances that you need. The next set of options are the AI options. And there's, I think, two versions of AI native solutions. One is, I would say, sort of agent or AI run solutions or AI driven solutions, in which case the AI is taking the best guess and then you're reviewing it afterwards. And where I think what differentiates Puzzle is it's all the same AI native solutions, except what we do is we take the accountant's judgment. They get to build the intellectual property by defining their own set of agents, their own set of automations.
Oh, I'm getting it now.
They earn it, they own it, and our system just executes your judgment when you're sleeping.
So we get to tell Puzzle what to do. Puzzle doesn't tell us.
Yeah, you think about it as you train your agents, or you train your Puzzle agents the way that you would train a junior employee. And of the things that you can describe, you just described, it can literally, we were just doing a couple demos here with firms. One person said, you know, my team always forgets to look in AP for these large transactions, and my customers always spot them. So we called it Beth's big transaction AP monitoring check. We just wrote it, we checked it, and it scanned everything. In our firm, we buy a lot of computers because we hire a lot of engineers. They're expensive, we depreciate them. You don't have to depreciate anymore because what you need to say, we buy Apple computers on this particular credit card. They're between this amount of money. Hopefully there's a receipt proving what they are, but in case, find these, draft them according to our accounting policy, 36 months, straight line, assume the in-service date is the date of the transaction, because we go buy them from the Apple store, they're pretty quick, and then draft the depreciation schedule and depreciate them. You don't have to do that anymore. It just is saying, here is my complicated logic, here's my agent, here's my complicated set of steps that I describe, and it just does it. It drafts it for you, so this is the second nuance. Nothing changes in the GL without your explicit permission, meaning you literally have to write YES into the thing, or it doesn't do it. So it'll draft it for you. It'll say, I found this, just like you said, I matched it to the policy. Here's what the schedule looks like. Does this look right to you? If you type yes, then I'll put it in service.
And then it will, do you have to do that every time you buy new computers, or it just knows now?
Well, you set it.
So I could say, if you see this, just do it.
Yes.
I trust you enough to do it.
Yeah, but it goes into the audit log that you set this thing to happen. And it tracks it, and so it'll say, you know, AI on behalf of Sasha did this decision, and you can always view it in the audit log. Our goal is nothing changes in your GL without your permission and without an audit log. So AI is never guessing, it's not assuming, it's not looking at other people's patterns. Your judgment for your client's books just executed with software and AI.
So if you connect your bank account or your credit card, for example, and it starts pulling in the transactions, because most everybody's used to QuickBooks, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, does it read the description and say, oh, I know that's this, and knows where to put it, or do we have to review it before it gets posted?
So the way that it works is our system learns about you for that client so it learns going forward. It doesn't recategorize anything in the past. And so what we've seen is the power of AI is it can help make this more accurate going forward, but we've seen instances of other players, you log in and the chart of accounts changed because AI said, oh, I thought you wanted this, and so let's change your chart of accounts. Or it reclassifies historical transactions. Some cases it's deleted historical transactions because the AI thought it was smart enough to you wanted it, and so it did it. So in our system, that can't happen. You have to type in yes, and it will do it going forward. So that's the setup to.
Okay.
You create rules, like old school rules, but you just, every time you verify something is correct, it automatically creates a rule. Now you can create your own manual rules, if then and then this, it just automatically creates them. As it creates it, it builds your own custom learning model, and it learns and it guesses. But nothing is posted to the GL unless you type in yes, or in transactions it's easier, so you just click yes.
Oh, wow.
And so what we see is typically after about 2 months of training, going forward, it can range between 85 and 98% accurate. The biggest factor in that is actually whether you use another modern stack. And so if you use a tool like a RAMP or a Brex, for example, they pass not only the memo and the receipt, they pass something called the merchant code and the merchant name.
Right.
And so you get all of the benefit of their system and the benefit of our system.
Right.
And so that's where you get this really high degree.
And RAMP and the one you just mentioned, they're expense management tools.
Yes. So for example, in the version of a credit card.
Yes.
You can always use all the old credit cards. It just has less information. So we'll look at the vendor, the amount, the history, the trends, and we'll suggest things. And then once you finalize it once, it'll do it going forward. Yeah,
it's just amazing. Now, do you have payroll that you integrate? Any payroll like Gusto or ADP or? Yeah, we actually worked really closely with the Gusto and the Rippling and the Deal team and the Ramp, Brex, Mercury, a lot of the modern stacks. We actually helped them design their accounting APIs to enable this concept of a real-time drafted system. So we were like, why didn't this exist before? There was modern technology providers. Well, we had to work with them to create this real-time API that allowed for the information needed for accounting. Right. And so that's why we're able to become more accurate in real time now, because instead of waiting for everything to push at some point over the month, we can go pull that data in every single day. Wow. So how are you, so that's how you're different than all the other GL products? Because I tell you, on the floor, there are a lot of AI GL products around, some I've never heard of. So how are you different? Well, I mean, I think it's a good question. I think the benefit to firms is now there's choices. Yeah. The challenge is like, oh my God, now I have choices, which one to use. I think that everybody should go demo and do a pilot with all of the different solutions out there, and you can feel the differences. I think the reason why people and firms love Puzzle is there's no surprises. It's their judgment codified in logic that's executed on their behalf. So it's not surprising, and it draws a very clean line between who is accountable for the books. Okay. The accountant firm in Puzzle, it's responsible. We just find the best technology to make your judgment and your expertise scale with the firm. I think something else that we do differently is we optimize internally for firms to make more money. That was my talk on stage. We optimize for money. So sometimes you hear some of them say, ours is cheaper than your humans, we're better than your humans, you can cut costs, you can fire staff. Our goal is to help you scale your practice and make more money. Now, like you said on stage just before this, with all of that extra time, you could also take your Fridays off. Yes. We have many firms who just take Fridays off now. Summer Fridays. One firm takes the whole week off at the end of the month. I don't know how much longer that will last because people like to make more money and they get more deal flow. But we mark our success as your ability to scale your practice and make more money. And if you don't make more money, you're going to fire us, and you should. Right. Why make all of that switch if it doesn't benefit? What I like about your GL products is you're not replacing us. No. You're enhancing the drudgery part of our job. You know, handcrafting GLs and doing all that. I remember in the day, I sat on stage, I was just on the main stage. The technology we got in the office when I first started was an electric pencil sharpener. Yes. Zzz, you know, and then I went to another CPA firm one. I walked in, I go, where are your computers? Oh, we don't have computers. Why don't you have computers? We couldn't charge the clients as much. What? I just thought, you know, so I always was visionary and forward thinking. Yeah. And finally, I think AI and Puzzle has caught up what I always think accounting should be, which is, can we get the computer I mean, we can send a man to the moon. We can't get a GL product to post an expense. What's the problem here?
Yeah. So to be fair, I think it's very hard to introduce automation in the old software paradigm.
Yes.
Because accounting is, millions of edge cases for every, and you have to code a very specific rule for every single possible edge case.
Yes.
And so that is really hard. Now, the benefit of an agent, and really what an agent does is you write your logic in simple steps. And what the agent actually does is it actually builds a piece of custom software that executes on the thing that you said. And so now it's easy for us to build the common things, reconciliations, categorization, et cetera, It's pretty easy to build things that are specific to a vertical, like e-commerce, services, construction, real estate. But there's always that, last 10, 25%
Yes.
that's unique to either that client or your judgment. And it was not cost effective to write something for all of those possible scenarios. But it's very cost effective for AI to write a little tiny piece of custom software and then you save it. The benefit to that isn't just being able to handle this long tail of all of these edge cases. To me, I think the real benefit is you're protecting the IP of your firm.
Okay.
And that's what Puzzle does, is you create this logic. It's in your AI close. You can execute it one time. You can execute it every single day or month for that client. You can apply that across your
Yeah, can you apply it to all your clients that you have? So if you do one type of industry, you can say, okay, I got this one set up, now I'm going to bring in another one, and I already know the answers to this, I'm going to move it over to that.
Exactly. So the IP of your firm used to be the people and the training, and then when they left, all of that training went with them.
Right.
Now you can build that training into the system, and your firm maintains that intellectual property the way that you want to differentiate in the market, or the way that you want to serve your clients. Some just want to do the books. Some want to do tax. Some want to have that advisory relationship. Now, again, we go back to what's the founding story of Puzzle? It's to bridge that business owner-accountant relationship, because I think of that as the most important decisions. I want a trusted, independent, unbiased person telling me, I'm crazy, this is going well, you need to fix this. Like, how do we make our businesses more enduring? How do we increase the chance of success? It's talking to the person who's the expert in financial health. Well, if the expert in financial health, in the case of small businesses, is managing 10, 20, 30 clients, and their whole month is just posting handcrafted journal entries, it's hard to find that time. And that time is the most valuable at the beginning of the month, not the end of the month.
Right.
And so how do we bring that expertise to the beginning of the month to talk about cash flow, to talk about margins? That was the foundation of why we started Puzzle, is to put that together. Hence Puzzle. Let's assemble the puzzle pieces of the business so we can look at the complete picture and decide, are we doing okay, are we not doing okay? And I think that carries through in the respect for the accounting profession, the controls, but also the ability to go play and have fun. We can smile and have fun experimenting, because you literally can't mess anything up.
You won't die.
You won't. You not only can't mess anything up in Puzzle, but like you said, say the analogy again that you said on stage, it was so good.
I said, we all learned, driving a car was scary when we first started out, but we all do it now.
Yeah.
Tried AI, you won't die.
Try AI, you won't die. So not
that rhymes too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. New tagline.
New shirts for
New shirts.
for the next conference.
There you go. Effective speed or next shirts in the conference.
Accurate books and AI speed.
Yeah.
And again, this is the thing. The accountant defines what accurate books mean. AI speed means the system is just executing your judgment, whether you happen to be logged in or not.
So I thought of something when you were talking, because clients are now coming to us and we're hearing rumblings of, well, why do I need you if AI can do it? So you've kind of answered that question, because accountants are still doing it. You're just handling all the boring stuff. What would you say to those accountants who are asked that question by a client?
It's a good question. It's a realistic question. The reason why, the way that I sort of respond to that is, who is the client of the firm? Our clients are accounting firms. So we do what we can to help make them more money. So part of that is helping codify their logic, helping them build IP. The second part is if somebody comes and signs up directly, there's a big thing on the top of the thing that says, you do not have an accounting firm. Do you want one? Here's our network of firms. And so you would think, okay, well, like people are just coming to Puzzle, they're just going to use it. No, about 10% of people sign up with an accountant or a kind of direct and then invite their bookkeeper. Within 90 days, 50% have added a bookkeeper. So the answer to that question is people still want an accountant to do their books. Because what AI is going to do is it's going to increase the velocity of business owners messing up their books.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
At AI speed.
At AI speed, yes.
At AI
yeah,
speed.
AI speed.
And so what happens is they get to that end of the year and the accountant comes and they're preparing the taxes and they're like, this is a mess.
Oh, I know.
And you're like, okay. So, according to the surveys that Intuit publishes about every year, about 50% of small businesses do it themselves anyway.
Yeah.
About 50% hire an accountant. I don't think that is going to change very much. Now, it might sway a little bit. I was talking about Joe yesterday. Joe Woodard. And what I said was, my guess is this year, it increases that number to a little bit of DIY for monthly bookkeeping and monthly accounting. Because but sycophantic AI makes everybody feel super smart. Even when it's lying right to your face and you go, is that right? And it's like, oh no, you're so smart. I actually want to tell you the opposite tax advice. And so I think this is bouncing forward, but it will empower people to think that they're smarter than they are. And then they'll get to tax season. So by next March or April, they'll be like, uh-oh, this actually messed it up even more. And I think it actually sways back. And I think more people hire accountants in next year than ever before. And we're already seeing that in the data. We're already seeing that in people sort of going through, messing up their books, and then going, oh man, how do I fix this?
Right.
And AI doesn't fix it. It just tells you what you want to hear in a really sort of
it's just a computer and a machine. It's not, there's not a little man in there, or lady.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Debbie wants to do it like this. Oh no, he wants to do it like that. I mean, it's a computer that's a dumb thing.
It is a computer. Well, it has no judgment.
Has no judgment.
It just executes the
Oh,
thing
I
that
think it's this.
designed to execute.
It's like a stupid kid you got to train.
Well, as we talk about some of these like self-driving and autonomous systems, when you log in and your chart of accounts changes or it reclassifies historical transactions, you can you're surprised. And that's why we think sort of governed automation is the right solution, because again, it can mess up stuff really, really fast. So I think there's a very bright future for accounting firms.
Yes.
We're betting big on that. Over 50% of our revenue from client accounts comes from accounting firms, and that is an important sort of part of the market that I don't think is going away.
So we shouldn't be worried about our jobs.
Well, but I think the part that some firm will think of is the 50% of small businesses that do their own accounting. I don't think they want to do their own accounting. There just wasn't a price point that made sense. Because if you had a choice to say, I'm a business owner, I love building these things, I love buying properties and flipping them. They don't get in the business to know financial health, learn accounting.
Right.
But realistically, historically, the price point is in the high hundreds to thousands of dollars because that's what you guys cost. You're experts. Now, I think a couple pioneering entrepreneurial firms with the advent of AI Close and some of these new solutions with Puzzle and hopefully others will create solutions for different segments of the market where they come in, they design the system, the chart of accounts, the rules, the policies, the checks and balances, and then the books will run for the most part, and they'll create either quarterly solutions or check-in solutions so that come tax time where there's higher margin, they're locked in, they make some money throughout the month, and then they're not doing this end-of-year cleanup that's really stressful.
I think those are dirty words, cleanup. Absolutely. It just, we should reframe that to something else.
So I think there will be able to, you couldn't make that business model work, I think, before agents and modern GLs that are built for agents worked. I don't think that's what we should strive for, is lowering our costs. In fact, we encourage people to raise their rates. We have multiple firms that actually charge more money now if you choose QuickBooks over Puzzle because it just takes more time and effort.
Yep.
to get to that
breaks
same
more,
level of
doesn't work more.
And so, I think that there will be solutions. So I actually think there will be more firms and more accountants making more money, but in slightly different ways.
Right. Now, I know Intuit went with what? OpenAI and Anthropic or Claude. Did you go with any of them, or did you build it yourself, your AI?
So I think if you're already using QuickBooks and you've never done anything with AI, that's like a very easy, fast way to solve. What you will quickly realize is you've now created a whole separate workflow outside of the system to do these things. So now you have to do it, generate it, review it, and you have to paste it into QuickBooks. Then you have to review it again against the general ledger. So you've taken 5 steps that can be won if the agent layer and you have a general ledger that is built to let agents do their work the right way. So I think that is where we think we can win. You can define a full end-to-end close as long as you can describe it in the system and it will execute. You can only do certain things. So if you have a very simple cash basis business and you like playing in multiple different systems all around, it's a great way to get started. You will then quickly realize, oh man, there's something to this AI native new general ledgers that are out there. So, that's it. Also, it's training when you do it that way.
Right.
It's training on the system. In ours, it's enterprise grade, SOC 2 compliant, which I'm sure everybody is, but it doesn't train on the system because it's just executing your judgment.
Great. Now, is it difficult to learn it? Because we're so entrenched in the QuickBooks world, and accountants hate change.
Yeah.
So how difficult is it what do you recommend us, anybody that wants to start with Puzzle? Because I know it's kind of, if you're trying to learn how to drive an automatic car, and you learned on a stick shift.
I did, myself.
Yep, you're still looking, where's this? I'm looking for the things that I'm used to having, and it's not there. And you go, well, the automatic car is different.
That's right.
So what do you recommend?
You slam your foot on the clutch and you realize in the automatic the brake pedal is much bigger along the way. And you're like, oh, you're shifting.
Okay.
It is different.
The goal is the same, to get the books done or reach your destination, but now the tool is different.
Yeah. Well,
So how do you learn the tool? What's the mind shift someone needs to make if they're so entrenched in driving that stick shift car, which is kind of a good acronym because to me, QuickBooks is like driving a stick shift car, or maybe even a horse and buggy wagon, to move to something, like a rocket ship, like you have. How do you make the mind shift?
Yeah, if you put a battery inside of a horse-drawn carriage, it
doesn't go any faster.
If you pour gasoline
which is
on a
kind of what
horse-drawn
QuickBooks
carriage,
did when they, because I loved what you said last year. QuickBooks bolted AI on top.
Yeah.
It just bloated it more.
I think it's the only choice they had, given, again, the core monolith of their code base was written so long ago. I doubt there's any engineers that wrote the code that are still there. It's just a different way that you write software code. We first built a new navigation and a new workflow before agents existed, just to do common click accounting and rules. And that was the feedback we got. I know exactly where to click in QuickBooks.
Yes.
And so my brain thinks, well, but you're not going to be doing a lot of clicks anymore. You're going to design the system to do the clicks for you. But if I say that, people are like, oh, that's overwhelming. All right.
Yes.
So what we did is we changed everything to look, relatively similar. There's a similar navigation.
Okay.
For accountants. So your clicking isn't
So
too far away.
kind of familiar.
You writing a manual journal entry looks the same in all accounting softwares.
Okay.
Downloading a P&L is the same in all accounting softwares. We do have a little bit more capabilities. There's a depreciation, fixed assets, prepaids. You can move a date of a transaction. You can split. But it's a lot of the common things. We ease our way into some of the bells and whistles. So we default everything off. And then we help train you. So you can do it yourself. You can use our AI training. You can talk to a human that is a bookkeeper.
So you can talk to humans.
Yeah, we really strongly encourage it. You have to say, no, I don't want to talk to a human. No, I don't want training. But I
just like the bots. I want to talk to a bot. I don't know. Has anyone ever said that ever?
We make it really hard with big red buttons that say, there are people. And they're like, oh my God, it's going to be totally different. I'm going to lean in. And then they get overwhelmed and confused. So we sort of ease your way in.
That's
we help
good.
train you. We build agents with you. We design a system with you. We set up the firm dashboard so you can kind of create all of the ways that you want your firm to operate. So we're very supportive. Slack, phones, email, AI, schedule calls. We
Wow.
review calls.
So when we use your product for the first time, we're not going to walk away feeling stupid.
It is new software.
Yes.
So it's not the exact same, but it's not that different. Like you click on revenue, set up rev recognition. You go to the bank feed, it has the date, it has the vendor name, it has the transaction
Okay,
amount.
looks
it's not-
familiar.
it's not
I just
that-
have to learn the new. Well, frankly, QuickBooks updated their UI. Is that what they call it, Donna?
Yeah.
And we had to totally learn the new stuff. So I thought that's a great opportunity. If I have to learn new in QuickBooks, I'm not learning that
Come
anymore.
learn Puzzle instead.
Come
It
learn
just,
Puzzle
like,
instead.
yeah.
You know, if I'm going to learn a new one, I might as well learn that works. And that I like and don't get mad at every time. You know, because I know like with the bank rec in QuickBooks, it said, oh, you can do it 3 times faster. So you upload the bank rec and go, okay, that's not 3 times faster. Liars, liars, pants on fire.
Yeah.
You know.
You guys have been promised productivity gains for a while, and it's created more work and more anxiety and more places for data to break, multiple systems to have to check. So I get it. It's totally okay to be skeptical. We give all firms a training, a free account. You can play with your own firm, play around with it, see what you like. We encourage you to set up calls. We schedule calls when you set up to say, let's set it up with you. Let's design the system for you. After your first month close, we set up a call. Now, not everybody comes to the calls. They don't show. I get it, you're busy, but we spend a lot of time trying to make sure you feel supported. Again, because if you aren't supportive, if you aren't successful, you're gonna fire us, and
Yeah.
you should. And we don't want that. We want
Right.
you to bring more of your book over.
Now, there are
to us.
different levels that they can like a premium level. Like, what are the levels of the?
Yeah, the pricing
product.
is fairly similar to most of the companies. There's a $25, a $50, and a $100 plan. I think of generally, the $25 plan is still, I want to click on the screen myself. The $50 plan is, I want to click on the screen, but I want some pretty charts and graphs and analytics and insights. And the $100 plan is, I care about accuracy and I want to design a system to run the way that I care about. So, pretty affordable.
Cool. I think so. It's less than a premium QuickBooks file. I know, you know. So, but this has been really fascinating. Is there anything else you want that I missed asking you questions about that you want to tell people or how great Puzzle is?
I mean, come on in, the water's warm. We're here to help
Yeah.
make sure that you're successful. I truly believe at the bottom of my heart, firms will make more money this year and next year than ever before, but it's the ones who are leaning into AI that are really going to define the next era. And just stop being a passenger. Dip your toes, try Puzzle, try somebody else. I think eventually you'll come to Puzzle.
And how do they get Puzzle?
Like, you just go to puzzle.io.
Puzzle.io.
Yeah, because we view ourselves a lot as an infrastructure for accounting firms to be successful. And so IO's
And they just sign up and they say they're an accounting firm and then they connect their own books and they're on their way.
You can click book a call, you can sign up, you can book a demo, you can talk with our team, you can talk with the sales team, you can play around with your own free demo account, you can play with a staging account that has a bunch of data in it. There's lots of ways to get started to make you feel comfortable.
I like, now do you convert old QuickBooks files over to Puzzle?
Very fast and very easy.
Oh, cool.
Sucks in your general ledger, your trial balance, your vendor list. You pick the day you want to get started, and then you just get started.
Get going.
It takes
You
about
just have to do it,
10 minutes.
right?
It's surprisingly easy. So I shouldn't think about stop paying a tax to the legacy software that's creating more work out of your life. It's your life. We might get more, but you definitely get this one. Let's enjoy life a lot more.
Yes. Well, I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for taking the time from this busy conference to spend with us on Bookkeepers on Fire to tell our guests and our listeners about Puzzle.
Yeah.
I think they all need to try it. I'll say, tell them Debbie sent you. You know.
The Debbie discount.
Yeah, the Debbie discount. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's really good.
It's really good. It's just for you.
But thank you again.
Yeah,
so the next time, thank you Right Tools again for sponsoring our YouTube channel, and we will see you next time. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you.